I was born and raised up in New York, but I decided to move down here to South Florida to go to college. And I was really excited at the time. I couldn't wait to move down here and just kind of start my new college life and just find some friends and just do the whole college thing. But after a couple of years, I kind of realized that I had made some really poor choices, and I found myself surrounded by some friends that weren't the healthiest relationships. And I found myself in a really dark place that I just needed to get out of. And so I knew that the first step would be cutting off some ties with some people that I needed to remove from my life. And so I started to do that, and I thought that that would be, the best thing to do and that everything would be great after that. But afterwards, I kind of just felt this dark loneliness that just set in, and it just felt like it was never gonna leave. I had no one to turn to. I had no family down here that I could go to. And I just remember feeling like it was just this unending cycle of loneliness that I was never gonna get out of. Those were probably some of the toughest weeks of my life so far. I never knew that loneliness could hit so hard and make life so difficult and make you feel like you had no way out. I didn't know who to turn to, and it really just ended up being me and God in most moments, and me just kind of crying out, just hoping and asking for an answer and just someone that was gonna reach out and help me. But one of my friends named Brandon, he actually was really plugged in here at Christ Fellowship, and he reached out and he was like, hey, I know you live right down the street from the Harriet. Why don't you just walk over on Sunday mornings? You can meet some people and you can come enjoy service and it'll be great. I remember when he invited me, it kind of felt like a tiny light at the end of this tunnel of loneliness. I took him up on it. I walked down to the Harriet. I think it was Easter weekend. And I came in and I was by myself, so I just sat in the back row in the corner chair and I sat through service. I said hi to my friend Brandon, and then I was basically on my way. But then after a couple of weeks, he reached out to me again. He was like, hey, why don't you join the dream team? We have some spots in production. I know that you would love to do it, so why don't you just jump in and help us out? And I remember for the next 2 weeks, I was just consumed by this thought of what if I actually stayed? What if I decided to stay here and just figure it out and I actually do this? And so one day I called up my parents and I was like, hey, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm not coming back. And they were completely shocked. I had just for weeks been like, I can't wait to come home. And now all of a sudden I'm saying I'm gonna stay. I know I don't have a job. I don't even have a place to live, but I just feel like this is what I need to do. And that was just the start of a complete 180-degree turn for my life. I got plugged in. I started leading worship, something that I had wanted to do. I felt like was a calling on my life. I found a new family and a group of friends, and it was all because Brandon reached out because he knew that I needed a family. He took that step and invited me to church. In that moment that Brandon invited me to church, I had no idea what was actually behind that invite. And honestly, Brandon didn't know either. But what was actually behind that invite was complete life change for me. There was stepping into my calling. There was a whole new group of friends and leaders to learn from. There was a whole new life behind that one invite. And I think that's the importance of inviting someone to church. You never know the life change that can come just from inviting one person to church. You could completely change their entire life, because I know my life would not be what it is today if I had not gotten that invite.